Imagine you are the greatest warrior of your time. You're on the brink of the biggest battle of your life, and then, right at the crucial moment, you just can't. That's the exact situation at the heart of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most famous philosophical texts in history. And it sets up this incredible, universal dilemma about duty, about grief, and about who we really are.
So, picture this. We're on the legendary battlefield of Kurukshetra. On that amazing golden chariot is our hero, the incredible archer Arjuna. And holding the reins, that's his guide, his friend, and his charioteer, Krishna. They are literally parked between two gigantic armies, ready to kick off a massive, devastating civil war. But just as the horns are about to blow, Arjuna freezes.
So what is this war even about? Well, this isn't just any war. It's a family feud, a fight for a kingdom between two sets of cousins. On one side, you have Arjuna and his 4 brothers, known as the Pandavas. And on the other side, their 100 cousins, the Kauravas. So yeah, this isn't some battle against a foreign invader, it's a family literally tearing itself to pieces. To really size up the situation, Arjuna makes what turns out to be a fateful request. He asks Krishna, hey, can you drive our chariot right into the middle of the field, into no man's land? He wants to look his enemies square in the eye, but what he's about to see is going to break him completely. As he looks across the enemy lines, it just hits him like a ton of bricks. These aren't just faceless soldiers. He sees his own family. He sees Bhishma, his great uncle, the man who basically raised him. He sees Drona, his revered teacher, the guy who taught him everything he knows about being a warrior. He sees cousins, uncles, friends, people he loves, people he respects, all of them standing there ready to kill him, and he's expected to kill them right back.
And that realization just pushes him right over the edge. Seeing his own loved ones lined up as the enemy unleashes this absolute flood of despair. What happens next isn't just a little bit of doubt, it's a full-blown crisis that paralyzes him, body and soul.
And just listen to how physical his reaction is. This isn't some abstract intellectual problem he's having. His entire body is in open revolt against what he's about to do. It's this deep, gut-level rejection of the violence he's supposed to commit against his own family.
His whole identity as a warrior, the greatest archer of his generation, just crumbles in that moment. His legendary bow, the Gandiva, it literally just slips out of his hand. He can't even stand up. His mind is spinning, all his strength is gone. The very idea of who he is has just been shattered.
And finally, he just comes to a moral conclusion. He looks at the situation and says, there is no victory, no kingdom, no pleasure in the world that could possibly be worth the sin of killing his own family. He basically asks, what's the point, Krishna? What joy could we possibly get from this? He refuses to fight.
And his final move is one of complete surrender. He just throws down his bow and arrows, the very symbols of his life's purpose, and slumps down in the chariot, totally crushed by grief. He went from being this confident warrior ready for battle to a man completely defeated by his own conscience. And that is the problem that needs to be solved.
Okay, so you might expect Krishna to give him a big pep talk, right? To say, come on Arjuna, be a warrior, do your duty. But he does something way more profound. He doesn't just try to fix Arjuna's problem, he completely changes the rules of the game by revealing a much, much deeper truth. Wow, this is Krishna's opening line, and it is a shocker. He tells Arjuna that all this deep, profound grief he's feeling is actually misplaced. He says that people who are truly wise don't grieve for bodies. It doesn't matter if they're alive or dead, because they understand that the body isn't the real person.
So Krishna's whole solution starts with a radical new idea about what we are. He introduces this fundamental difference between our temporary, physical body and our true, immortal self. He calls this true essence, the self, or jiva. Now, this isn't your body, it's not your personality, it's not your thoughts, it's the core of who you are, that pure awareness that's experiencing everything. And Krishna's big point is this self was never born, and it can never, ever die. It is timeless and indestructible. And this comparison is absolutely key. The body, right? It's temporary. It's made up of elements that will eventually fall apart. It's an object that we can see and touch. But the self, it's eternal. It's indestructible. It's not a thing you can see. It's the seer itself. It's the one doing the experiencing.
To make this super clear, Krishna uses one of the most brilliant and famous analogies of all time. He says that the death of the body is no more of a big deal than taking off a set of old, worn-out clothes. The self,
That's the real person wearing the clothes, simply moves on and puts on a new set. It's such a powerful image that just makes this whole idea click.
And this brings Krishna's argument right back to Arjuna's problem. See, Arjuna is grieving for the bodies, for those worn-out garments. But the true self of his grandfather, of his teacher, of his cousins, that can't be touched by a sword. It can't be hurt. It can't be killed. So his grief, as real as it feels, is actually based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what's real.
Okay, but just understanding this philosophy isn't enough. So next, Krishna explains how to actually live and act in the world with this knowledge. This is where we get to the practical, how-to part. He calls this path karma yoga, which you could translate as skillful action. It's all about doing your duty, which in Arjuna's case is to fight this battle, but doing it with a totally different mindset. You act not for what you can get out of it, but simply because it's your duty. You do it without being attached to whether you win or lose, succeed or fail. The process is actually pretty straightforward. First, you just do the thing you're supposed to do. Second, and this is the hard part, you give up any claim on the results. You're not doing it for praise or for money or for victory. And third, you work on developing an inner calm, staying balanced whether things go your way or not. That state of balance, Krishna says, is yoga.
And this really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The Gita starts with a warrior's crisis on a battlefield thousands of years ago, but the solution it offers is just timeless. If the very core of who we are is truly eternal, completely untouched by all the chaos of the world, well, how might that change the way we face our own battles, our own losses, and our